What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the I Formation Podcast here with Ben Hall, my guy LeBron McLean. We're finally back. Took a little bit of a break. Still did a little bit of draft stuff, but after last year, we're finally back, and we're excited to be back talking football every week. So before we get this started, how you doing today?
Man, I'm good, man. It's a blessing. Like you said, man, it's a blessing to be back on the tour with y'all, man. Y'all watching us, man. Salute to all our subscribers, you know what I'm saying, from the old school, these new ones that about to join. Be prepared for a great season of, you know what I'm saying, NFL talk, man. But being doing good, man. How you been? How you been, man? How you been?
Man, just been chilling. Excited for football. It's been a long time coming. College football was great last week, but NFL is nothing like the
Yes,
NFL.
it was.
So yeah, I mean, we'll talk about some college this year too. It was cool
We
last week
probably
getting
we
the
probably need to. We probably need to. Yeah,
yeah,
college football weekend kicked off like it was
yeah,
crunk last week, man.
yeah, it
It,
was.
it, it, jumped, it jumped out. It jumped out the porch for sure. For sure.
No, yeah, for sure. But before we get into stuff, what kind of breakdown we're gonna do, we're gonna go through every team's win total and whether or not we think that they'll go over or under that win total. And then for each division, we broke it down. So we're gonna pick our division winner by the odds that they had on the sportsbook DraftKings. Um, there's Well, I went through this last night and earlier yesterday. There's a lot of 50-50s. Honestly, like some of these lines are set really well because it's a lot of teams that I think are going to finish right around what they put them at. But we'll start in the AFC East with the Buffalo Bills over under 10.5 wins. I'm going under. I think they win 10 games or nine. My hot take was them to miss the playoffs. Not that big on Josh Allen. Kind of makes me mad the way he turns the ball over and doesn't get criticized, but other guys do it.
Yeah.
It's fine. Um, he's very, very talented, really good quarterback, but he just turns the ball over too much for me. They're in a really tough division this year with the Jets and Dolphins competing, and then you can never count Belichick out with the Patriots. So I think the Bills are going to go under this total at best. I think they got 10 wins. They slide into the playoffs with that. But if they go 9 or 8 wins, I think they miss the playoffs this year because they lost a lot on defense too with Edmonds,
Yeah.
Chicago at the middle linebacker position. So it's not that high on them.
Yeah, I ain't too high. I ain't too high on either. You know, so I'm even picking the Jets for that Monday night game. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just excited about, you know what I'm saying, what they got going on over there. Then you know I'm always a tour fan down there in the Miami, man. The stuff that they doing, the stuff that they building down there with their new coach and everything, his swag and everything. I just like his juice. I just like his juice on the sideline. Like you said, man, can't count out the Patriots at all. So yeah, I got them like about like 9, 10 wins. You know what I'm saying? To 9 to 10 wins this year. You know what I'm saying? They're not good as everybody, you know. So I feel like they're not as hot as everybody think they are, but you know, people hype up Josh Allen.
Yep, that's their favorite. But now to the Jets over under 9.5 wins. I'm going over, and I'm not, bro. Like I'm not the biggest Rodgers fan at this point in his career. I think Rodgers is like a shell of what he once was, but he's a good game manager. He'll get the ball out quick, and he's got guys like Garrett Wilson, which are unstoppable. So I'm going to go over this. Yeah, the Dalvin Cook to backfield with Brees Hall already. The defense is what we already know: Quentin Williams, Sauce Gardner, those guys. Just TJ Mosley, like that's a stacked defense for an offense. Who the biggest issue was quarterback last year, and regardless of where anybody is on Aaron Rodgers, he is a million times better than anything they had last year, and that was the big issue. So I'm going over 9.5 wins, and I'm also taking them to win the division at plus 270. I think they edge out the Dolphins in a tight race. Dolphins get the wild card bye, and the Jets get the division.
It's crazy. I totally agree with you. I think the Jets gonna be. I've been watching the Hard Knocks. I
Yep,
know everybody been tuning into it, man. They just swag. Everybody got in there. They know they was just a quarterback away
exactly.
from, you know what I'm saying, making a few plays. Defense made so many plays last year. The offense just couldn't capitalize on turnovers to capitalize on, you know what I'm saying, three and outs and all that. So good thing they got Aaron Rodgers. Like you said, no matter where he is in his career, he can go in there and do what he got to do with the weapons that he has. And like you said, I think they go win the division also. You know what I'm saying, over them two teams. It's like you said, slightly beat out Miami. I got to see that Miami Jets game gonna be probably a high scoring game. Or you know what I'm saying, flash flies. But it's gonna come down to the defense. It's gonna come down to the defense and who gonna be, you know what I'm saying, better Miami defense or the Jets. And right now, just with everything the Jets got going on, I gotta go with that head coach, man, Robert Slee and the defense.
So now moving to the Dolphins at 9.5 wins. I'm gonna take over. The Jets are 9.5 too. I think the Jets go to like 11 maybe, but I think the Dolphins finish at 10. Like I said, it's a tight race. Dolphins get a wild card bid, and the Jets win the division. So I'm gonna go Dolphins over 9.5 wins. Tua, honestly, his biggest issue has been health. Like when he's healthy, that team is solid. I mean, we saw them come back from 21 or 24 last year to beat the Ravens in Baltimore. We've seen them compete with the best teams. Tyreek Hill, if he has a fine quarterback throwing the ball to him, he's fine. They made the playoffs last year. They struggled a little bit, but they had Skylar Thompson playing. Like Tua, when he is healthy, is exactly what this team needs, a quarterback. The defense will get better as the season improves. Jalen Ramsey's supposed to return in the beginning of December, end of November, I think. So I'm going to go over this win total. I think the offense is too good to go under it. And they got a good defensive line, which is kind of underrated.
Yeah. I like two of them. I like two of them. I got to see how they jump off the porch. I think they're going to get about 9 or 10 wins this year. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, just going to be everything just with that division of beating each other up there. The AFC kind of wicked, you know what I'm saying, with all the teams that's in it. So, hopefully they get them 9 or 10 wins with Tua on the field. He stay healthy this year, they're going to be good. He don't, I don't know. So, you know what I'm saying? They did get a backup job to, I think, White. Then they gave him a backup job down there. So hopefully if Tua go down or something like that, because you got to be expecting it, man. The guy injury prone a little bit. So hopefully,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying, this offseason he bulked up a little bit, and I hope that can help him.
Moving to the last team in the division, the Patriots, 6.5 wins. I'm not high on the Patriots. I'm not high on Mac Jones, but taking Belichick under 6 wins is I just can't do it. I'm gonna go over. I think they win at least 7 or 8 games. Quarterback play, like I said, Mac Jones, I'm not a huge fan of, and they're saying that he has good weapons, best weapons he's had in his career, but Juju Smith-Schuster is like, it's just a lot of kind of
Yeah.
iffy guys. I mean, they got Gesicki, who is the ideal player for a Belichick offense with Bill O'Brien back. So I'm gonna go over 6.5 wins, maybe 7 or 8 wins, and kind of just competitive because those defenses are usually insane. Matt Judon's back, like they have a good defense. I wouldn't write the defense off, but the offense I'm just not high enough on.
Yeah. Like you said, Gesicki going with Bill O'Brien back, that offense should be a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, explosive over the middle, you know what I'm saying, like they had with, you know what I'm saying, Brady and Grunt. But like you said, man, I don't see too much hype about them right now. I got them over 6.5 wins. Like you said, can't disrespect Belichick like that, man. That defense going to win a few games for them. So they just got to pull out. So I see them winning by 7 or 8 games.
So now jumping the AFC North, we'll start with the Bengals, 10.5, over under 10.5 wins. I'm gonna go over, and it hates me to say it, but I mean, Joe Burrow has been very good. And
Yeah, man.
they're kind of. I mean, the injury was a little scary, but to me, he'll be fine. He'll be ready to play week 1. And there's a lot of people picking the Browns over them. When we get to the Browns, I'll talk about that more because I'm not high on the Browns at all. But the Bengals, I think, finished around 11 wins, right over this number. This is one of the ones I was talking about because I could see them finishing with 10. I could see them finishing with 11. And honestly, they could finish with 12, but I'll have the Ravens doing that and winning the division. But I'm going to go Bengals to finish with 11 wins, over 10.5.
Man, I like the Bengals. Like the AFC North is kind of tricky for me too. I like Pittsburgh. I just got them. I got them finishing last. Hate to jump the gun, but I got them finishing last. But the top 3 teams, like the Ravens, Bengals, and Browns, it's kind of crazy because they probably split the matchup between each other. Probably all of them. You know what I'm saying? They got to win out some games in the, you know what I'm saying, the AFC. But I do got them winning like 11, 12 games, you know what I'm saying, with Joe Burrow. Like I seen the interview last night, he was saying like it's probably the best he felt going into a season when he don't, like, you know what I'm saying, not had to worry about coming back from an injury or, you know what I'm saying, this right here, he just been resting. So he feel pretty good. So I think Joe gonna do his thing this year. I like the Bengals, man. I like what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Not to be biased or anything. I know y'all see the picture behind me, but man, I got to win about 11, 12 games.
So now to the Ravens, over under 10.5 wins. I'm going over. People will call bias, whatever, but I just this is the best the offense has looked in a while. I don't know how you can discredit what Monken is going to do. Obviously, we haven't seen a regular season game yet, but when you look at the passing offense under Greg Roman and the offense under Todd Monken, it's like night and day. Roman was good at the start of Lamar's career, but Lamar outgrew him and became a much better quarterback than Greg Roman's run first offense. Uh, I'm going over 10.5 wins. Odell's in Baltimore now. Zay Flowers, who looks like he could be offensive rookie of the year with his highlight tape and stuff like that. I'm going over 10.5 wins and the Ravens to win the division. It'll be a tight race between them and the Bengals, but I think week 2, if Marlon Humphrey's back, I think the Ravens beat the Bengals. Without Humphrey, I think they lose, but they'll split if they do lose week 1 or week 2 because they return home later in the year to play the Bengals. So I'm going to go Ravens over 10.5 wins. I think they finish around 12 and at plus 235 to win the division.
Indeed, man, I got to agree with you on that, man. Real talk, I got the Ravens winning the whole thing, but we just talk about divisions right now. But with all the weapons that Lamar has now, with the new offensive coordinator, man, like you said, up in Dyson, man, them tight ends, got the receivers, got the running back, got the running game. So they just got to put it all together on the field, man. I see them winning about 12, 30, about probably more, probably going to surprise some people this year. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Harbaugh ain't been nothing but a winner, so you know how to win them tight games, man. We just got to get into that playoffs, get that bye, you know what I'm saying, going through. So, but I think they're going to win the division, like you said, a tight one with the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? That week 2 matchup, like you said, going to be crucial early in the year. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully Ravens can pull it out. You know what I'm saying? But if they split, they still should be good, man. But I got the Ravens winning the division also. AFC North champs.
Yep, fully agree. Now to the Browns. I just can't get with them. The Browns are the Browns to me. And I'm not high on Deshaun Watson. I think last year when he came back, obviously he spent the year out of football. He actually spent 2, but didn't play much. And there is a chance that he could get back to what he is. If Deshaun Watson gets back to what he was before,
it's gonna be interesting.
Right. If he gets back, that gives the AFC North 3 elite quarterbacks. I'm not high on Kenny Pickett. I'm not high on Deshaun Watson either because what he showed me, he was not. But in the preseason, there were some glimpses. Obviously, it's preseason. Can't credit that or anything. But he showed some glimpses that we saw when he led the league in passing. Like, people forget he did lead the league in passing in 2019, I think, or 2020. So
yeah, 2020. I think it was 2020. Yep.
Yeah. So there's always that.
5,000 yards. Yeah.
Right.
And touchdowns too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yards and touchdowns. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's always a chance he gets back to that. But I'm gonna go under. The Browns on paper, I feel like every offseason, it's the Super Bowl champions on paper. You know, they added Zadarius Smith, and everybody's like, "Oh, the Cleveland Browns." And then the argument some people make is the Cleveland Browns, and that's not fair, I guess. But it is. Like, the Cleveland Browns are always terrible. Every NFL team knows that. They're horrible. They always do dumb things. Everybody is starting to move away on the coaching staff. Stefanski's got to be on the hot seat. If he doesn't win with this team, it might be his last year in Cleveland. So I'm going under. I'm going to say they finish around 9 wins and just miss the playoffs.
Oh yeah, man. Like you said, man, it's really like a toss up with me with these Browns. You got to see what Deshaun Watson talking about. If he come out swinging, it's gonna be interesting. But if he come out slow, you know what I'm saying, with that team, you know what I'm saying, gonna be a long season for him. So I got him under as well. You know what I'm saying? And if Deshaun come out playing a little bit, got him over, probably just like by 10, 11 wins, trying to sneak into like a little wild card 3 team in the AFC North get in. But like you said, like we say, man, we're gonna talk about some more teams coming up. You know what I'm saying? And like we got some more teams coming up with 2 more divisions, and they got some heat. They got some heat in them divisions.
Yeah.
For sure.
Our last team of the AFC North, Steelers over 8.5 wins. I hate to do this because I'm a huge fan of Tomlin. I think Tomlin's very good, but I'm going to go under 8.5 wins. I think a lot of people are buying into the preseason hype. The Steelers are one of the only teams in the NFL to play their starters as much as they did in the preseason, and it's not a knock to them. You know, they wanted to get Kenny Pickett out there with those guys. George Pickens, they wanted them to build that relationship. They want the offensive line to kind of figure things out. So they played a lot of starters. I'm not extremely high on them this year, as other people are. I think the preseason is just, it's not something I'm going to buy into. Now, if they come out in the first few weeks of the season, if they beat San Francisco week 1, then obviously things are changed. That's a big win. But I think they're going to go under this. I think they finished right around 8 wins. which would give Tomlin his first losing season in the NFL. I'm gonna go with that. I hate to do it, but I have to.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go under as well. I'm not too big on the Steelers. I feel like their defense is they feel like they got a few weapons. I know them guys just coming in gonna be playing a lot of young guys in the division, but I just feel like Kenny Pickett, man, you got to show me a little bit more. I love Najee, Bama guy running that rock, man. So, but I got them winning probably like 8 or 9 games. You know what I'm saying? At most, probably finishing like third. Between them and Cleveland, 'cause I know it's gonna be probably Ravens and the Bengals at the top of that division. So, but they might surprise us. They might surprise us to go undefeated like they did that one year and went
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. That was the year
Hey,
Baker beat them in
yeah,
the playoffs, though. Baker did
yep,
go and beat
yep.
them in the playoffs.
Yeah, then Baker went to beat them in the playoffs. Crazy.
Now jumping to the NFC or the AFC South, sorry. The Jacksonville Jaguars 9.5 wins and -155 to win the division. I'm going to take the over, and I'm going to take them to win the division. This is the weakest the AFC South has been in a long time, and Trevor Lawrence is. I mean, I got to give him his credit. Trevor Lawrence is a beast. He showed that in the second half of last year. Had some struggles early on in his career, but now they also add Calvin Ridley, which I feel like is not being talked about enough by NFL fans. He had the gambling thing, which put him out a little bit, but now he's back. He looks good. He was a top receiver in the NFL at one point, which once again people aren't crediting. I think this year Ridley and the Jaguars offense blows up. I think they win 11 to 12 games, just like a few other teams, and I think they win the division handily.
Yeah, man, they go. I like Jacksonville Jaguars. Everything that Doug's down there building with that team, man. He got Trevor playing some good, like you said, in the second half of the season last year. Got him playing some great ball, man. People do not understand. Calvin really had a whole year off.
Yep.
He's coming back more explosive, bigger. You know what I'm saying? You can see in his routes, you can see the difference of the routes that him and this guy down there running. But they're gonna be so explosive on offense, like you said, man. I feel like they're gonna win about 12 games, and they probably can sneak. They probably can sneak a few close ones because they know how to win them close ones now. They know how to win them close games now, those games that they was losing. So I got them winning the air, like you just said. Also, I got to win the NFC South, but blowing through every team because I don't feel like the other teams have a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I agree. The Titans over under 7.5 wins. It hates me to do it, but I have to say over.
I got about 8 wins. I got
Right,
about 8 wins.
right.
About 8 wins. That's
Yeah,
about it.
that's right
Yeah.
where I'm at. I just Derrick Henry can carry a team on his back. But they're so bad. I think they finished, like you said, 8 wins. Don't get in the playoffs, but do finish with 8 wins. I mean, Ryan Tannehill is not a great quarterback, not a good quarterback in my opinion, but he's a game manager. I think he can at least get the job done in a few weeks against some rookie quarterbacks. They'll play Anthony Richardson of the Colts. They'll play C.J. Stroud, and just probably a few more rookie quarterbacks this year. So I'm going to go right over that number at 8 wins.
Man, I'm the same. I'm the same with them, man. 8 wins. 8 wins with them. And I just don't feel like, what I'm saying, they gonna do, what I'm saying, not too much, not too
Right.
much of that, what I'm saying. 8 wins, we can just leave it at that. Ain't no need to talk about it.
Yep. Yep. Literally. The Colts over under 6.5 wins. I'm going to go under. I think Richardson is going to be a franchise quarterback in Indianapolis. I'm a huge fan of him. I really think he's got good composure, plays well. A lot of people are trying to write him off, which is weird to me. I'm a huge fan of his, like I said, but I do have them going under just because the stuff going on with Jonathan Taylor, Shaq
That
Leonard
jump
is,
crazy.
yeah, and Shaq Leonard's dealing with concussion again. He's like one of the best linebackers in the league when he's on the field, but he's just been hurt so much.
Yep.
Your best player is now on the IR because he hasn't signed a contract. So I'm gonna go under this, under 6.5. I think they get a good pick, a decent pick for next year, which will help them. I think they have to understand what rebuilding is, and I think they do that this year.
Yeah, man. Rebuild year for them, man. They got Anthony Richardson. I feel like they pulled the plug on him. They saw the the potential of him,
Right.
thinking that he could do. Hopefully he can, what I'm saying, get in there, sling that thing around. I don't have him winning too much this year. You know what I'm saying? I have really without Jonathan Taylor really getting their teeth kicked in because they need their running game. I don't know what's up with that owner. He could talk all that mess he wants to, Talking about, yeah, the NFL might carry on, but you're
Yeah.
not going to be too good, sir.
Right.
So you, them fans gonna be mad at you up there in Indianapolis, man. I know my cousin from Fort Wayne, he the biggest Colts fan. He already said like, I don't know what Ursay doing, man. JT about to leave, and we probably win about 3 games this year. I
Yeah.
agree, cousin. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Ursay is a joke. Obviously, he has
He
his
be
issues.
tripping, man.
He has his
Yeah,
issues away
man,
from
he
football,
tripping.
and then in football, he's got issues. So I'm not a fan of him. I think he's going to be stupid to do what he does. But moving to the Texans, final team in the AFC South, I'm going to go under 6.5 wins. I did have C.J. Stroud as my highest ranked quarterback through a draft show that we did a few months ago. If you want to go back and watch that, C.J. Stroud
Yeah.
was the highest ranked quarterback that I had for the draft. I think he's going to be really good in the NFL. But one, his offensive line is not good. They got a bunch of guys on IR. They have a few guys done for the year. They got guys that they traded for that are going to be starting week 1 against the Ravens and probably the first 4 weeks of the season. Stroud's going to be in trouble back there. I really like him. I think the Texans with D'Amico Ryans was honestly, I hate to say it, but I'm a huge I've always supported John Harbaugh, but I thought if John Harbaugh decided to retire, step down, D'Amico Ryans was the guy I wanted. Obviously, Harbaugh's back, so we couldn't get Ryans, but I think Ryans is going to turn that franchise into a
Yeah.
contender every single year. But I just think this is not the year for it. I think they continue, take their time. They traded next year's first round pick, I think, for Will Anderson, but that gives them a franchise player on the defensive side and then a franchise quarterback in CJ Stroud. So I think they go under this, but I think Texans fans need to just kind of be fine with them struggling a little bit.
Yeah, man, they go struggle, man, just with all the situation going down there. They gotta get some players, which has started with CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, trying to turn that organization around, trying to do more, you know what I'm saying, for that community since Deshaun Watson and left it just you
Yep.
know what I'm saying? But hey, you know, this stuff you gotta do, man. My former teammate D'Amico Ryans from when we played at Bama together. So proud of him, everything that he's doing down there, building up that team. Gonna be a tough sledding, like you just said, tough sledding for him this first year. You know what I'm saying? But in the near future, the CJ Stroud, because he showed a lot, especially in that college football playoff game. He won the game for real, just the kicker just didn't do what he had to do. CJ Stroud played lights out. He gonna probably lead that team too. You know, he's gonna probably win a few games for him, but it's gonna be tough that first year, man. I got him going under also.
So now jumping into the AFC West, Chiefs over under 11.5 wins and minus 165 to win the division. That's such a big number, but it's the Chiefs. And I don't know what supposedly right before we started this, I read that Kelsey is going to work out this morning. So maybe the injury is not as serious as it was reported. I'm gonna go over 11.5 wins and them to win the division.
Yeah.
It's tough, but yeah, I'm gonna go over. I don't really have to explain Chiefs
Yeah,
why
what's
I'm high
going
on
on
them.
over there?
It's Mahomes, right? It's Mahomes.
Yeah, Patty Mahomes, man, Chiefs, you know what I'm saying, AFC West. I know it's gonna come down to them 2 teams, you know what I'm saying, that other team out there in the West, but it seems like always KC finds a way to,
Yep.
get over the hump, you know what I'm saying, over them. I got KC over, like you said, KC over, man. They always find a way. Man, can't go away with Patty Mahomes, man. That offense, that's great, unorthodox, organized chaos offense that they run. So I got them over and winning it also.
Now jumping in the Chargers, over under 9.5 wins. I'm gonna go under based on, or I'm gonna go over based on skill. However,
Yeah.
I think this is the last year of Brandon Staley. Last year he was abysmal and hurt them so much. Blew the 24-point lead in the playoffs. Has done dumb stuff time and time again. Had a chance to get into the playoffs 2 years ago and decided to call a timeout in overtime when the Raiders were going to run the clock out.
Oh my
Raiders
God.
sent the field goal. Like he just does dumb stuff, and I feel like he's too analytical. I think he's too much of the new age, and instead of just kind of understanding the actual game itself, I can't believe he's still there now.
Yeah.
But I think he has some. Not him. I think the team has some success this year, and if they struggle again in the playoffs, he's gone. So I'm going to go over 9.5 wins just because I think with 9, I don't think they get in the playoffs. But I'm going to go over 9.5 wins, probably 10 or 11. Then they sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah, man, they'll go over the wins. They got a lot of skill, new receivers. Keenan's still there. You know what I'm saying? Williams still there. They still got doing their thing, a few tight ends. And, you know, got Herbert. Got Herbert still throwing that rock, man. But like you said, man, all comes down to the guy that's leading them. He makes a lot of like rash decisions, man. A lot of stuff that hurts the team. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff that he just instead of just going off field, he want to go to the numbers instead of just going off field and being like a coach like that. So that will hurt him this year. Like you said, they might get 10 or 11 wins. You know what I'm saying, that division, but they might, you know what I'm saying. I know they probably lose 2 to the Chiefs, split with the Raiders. You know what I'm saying, and something else with the other team. But I got them at 10 wins. That's it.
Now jumping to the Broncos, 8.5. A lot of people are high on them because of Sean Payton, but I'm not high at all. I'm gonna go under. Russ was Russ was bad last year. Sean Payton is I'm gonna go under. I don't really.
I hate it. I got him under all the way. I just don't. What Sean Payton said about Russell Wilson, about the kissing babies, I said that's Russell Wilson right now.
Yeah.
He's more worried about after football getting that stuff together than, you know what I'm saying, on the field as in making plays. I don't care how many videos he put up throwing in Colorado or anything like that. That man got to play quarterback for the Broncos. And last year he stunk up the place. I don't care what offensive coordinator, what coach was in there. He stunk the place up, bro. With the defense playing halfway good, with the weapons that he had. Russell just won. They really exposed them. So I got them under. I got them all the way under the radar. I don't know what Sean Payton, with him coming out hating on the Jets coach, like you don't do nothing like that either.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But I understand why he did that. You know what I'm saying? But it seemed like on the Hard Knocks, Nathaniel Hackett cool as shit. Like, you know,
I did not expect that. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
I ain't expect that either. I did not expect him to be like that cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, he seemed like a player's coach. He seemed like a player's coach, like a guy that, you know, let you be a professional and let you go out. But you can't probably do that with Russell Wilson because he needs somebody on his head. Like he needs somebody like a daddy on his head, like Sean Payton, I guess. I don't know. But I got him under the radar, under.
I'm with you. I can't get with them. Russ is an embarrassment, and all the players speaking out about him after he left kind of spoke to what he is. I don't know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now jumping into the Raiders for our last team of the AFC before we take a quick break. 6.5. I'm gonna go over. Jimmy Garoppolo is a game manager, but he's been a winner through his career. I mean, like whether you like, no matter what you look at, like you look at film, like he's not anything that jumps off the charts. You look at all this stuff and is really like, what is that? But he's won. Obviously, he played with San Francisco. Yep. I think I could go back there and have a little bit of success with that offense. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo is he's been a winner. Injuries have thrown him off a little bit, but Aiden O'Connell is the backup guy from Purdue. So if Garoppolo does go down, I think they'll be excited to see if they have some in the future there. But I'm going to take the Raiders and Garoppolo over 6.5 wins. I think Josh McDaniels has to get it done this year or he'll be out.
Yeah, man. McDaniels, man, got your quarterback now. Got you a few weapons on offense. Let's see what you can do, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what you can do. Because if you don't do nothing this year, just like my guy just said, you're gonna get fired, probably on the hot seat, probably gonna be rough for him. But like you said, Jimmy's a winner, bro, and I think he's gonna win it too. I got him over. I got him over as well. I think they're gonna win. I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people just with that winning that he had, like in San Francisco, with beating a few teams in the NFC that you didn't think that, you know what I'm saying, the 49ers was gonna beat. But Jimmy, you know what I'm saying, came out on top like a 23-13 game or like a 20-14 game or something like that. Jimmy, no touchdowns, 183 throwing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Game
something like that. But the guy's a winner, like you said, man. The guy's a winner, man.
Yeah, fully agree.
So who you got? So who? Let me ask you this before we take a break. Out of the whole AFC, who you got coming out the AFC this year?
It sounds biased, but legitimately, when I look at it, I have to say the Ravens. But I could go days about why my explanation is for that, so I'll save that. But if I couldn't choose the Ravens, the Ravens offense legitimately looks like one of the best. It looks good now. They throw the ball more, they open it up. But with Monken coming from Georgia, what he did at Georgia, if I couldn't choose the Ravens, the Jets, I would take a flyer on the Jets. Rodgers just gives them everything they needed. The biggest issue with them was quarterback, and they got it.
Well,
Who
yeah,
do
man.
you got?
I agree the same way, man. I got the Ravens just on paper how they look. Man, we got the best. Like I just feel like it's no other. Like we got the most dynamic quarterback in the league. When you got something like that, you know what I'm saying, throwing the ball, running that offense, then got Pete, then like the organization, like got the guys in there for him. I feel like the defense plays solid, man. We score points. I think the Ravens gonna be good in the AFC. But like you said, the other two teams that I just feel like that'll just push up on us is probably the Chiefs and the Jets. Chiefs and the Jets. They'll probably be the only two teams. Only way I don't want to count out the Chiefs because Patty Mahomes and that, and
Right.
you know what I'm saying, that offense what they be doing. So that's about it, man. The Ravens on top, man. They probably Jets or the Chiefs probably after them.
Yep. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, but we're gonna take a quick break and then we will jump back into the NFC. Now we're gonna jump into the NFC East. Start with the Eagles over 11.5 wins and minus 135 to win the division. I'm gonna go under. I think they finished with 10 to 11 wins.
Ooh,
Um,
ooh,
there were a few games
ooh.
last year that they kind of stole, and they had a really easy schedule, or an easier schedule, I'll say. This year they got one of the harder schedules in the NFL. They made the Super Bowl last year, but when have you ever seen a team like it's not very uh a lot, I'll say. Like the Chiefs do it, but it's not very regular that you see a team constantly go back to the Super Bowl. I think the Eagles have a little bit of a year off, and I'm just not that high on them. I think some people overreacted with their draft. I think like there were some guys that landed to them that how do I put it? Like Kelly Ringo, he went first pick of the fourth round, and everybody's like, they got to steal, they got to steal. 29 of the teams chose to let him do that. Like it wasn't like the teams did not want it. Like they let that happen. I'm not as high on them. Like that was a fourth round pick, and they acted like they just got Deion Sanders. So I'm not that high on them. I'm gonna go under this total. I think they win 10 to 11. Jalen Hurts is still one of the best quarterbacks of the NFL. No knock to him, but I think their defense is a little bit of a letdown. I don't think they're as good as people think.
Indeed, I think they like you hit it on the head with, you know what I'm saying, what you said about the draft. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing I think everybody overreacted a big time about, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I went for them in the Super Bowl last year, you know what I'm saying, which they lost and everything. I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, you know. But I feel like it's going to be under two. I think they're going to win like 11 games, probably get in with the wild card or something like that, you know what I'm saying, in their division. You know what I'm saying? Probably 11 games. And I got them winning it. I got them winning their division with 11 games because I don't think that division too pretty hot. You know what I'm saying? I think another team in the division gonna surprise them other two teams. I think the team in DC and probably jump out on them because I think that offense, I think they're ready to roll. I think the Commanders ready to roll.
That'll be a little bit of a fire take when we get there. But now to the Cowboys over under 10.5 wins, going under. The Cowboys, Dak Prescott is not what people think he is. Dak Prescott is not very good. He struggled. Jerry Jones consistently runs the team into the ground and does dumb stuff. I'm gonna go under. The Cowboys defense is one of the best in the NFL. Don't get me wrong, but in big games, they'll find a way to choke. They'll find a way to be the Cowboys. And I think at best they finish with 10 wins and sneak into the wild card. I don't even have them doing that. I think Dak turns the ball over too much, but we'll see. I'm gonna go under 10.5 wins.
Like you said about Dak Prescott, man, I hate to, and I'm gonna make sure people see me that and make sure that they understand me. I hate that Dak Prescott is like that because I'm starting to think that his owner don't believe in him with that trade that he made to get Trey Lance. Like I know you ain't getting Trey Lance just to chill. You know what I'm saying? Or you getting him to, like, I know you ain't thinking about trading him again. I know you're thinking about playing him. I know you're thinking about, you know what I'm saying,
The
something
future.
about your quarterback. Something gonna happen to him. And I got a guy behind him that's, you know what I'm saying, probably more explosive. You know what I'm saying? Probably a little bit better if y'all let him, you know what I'm saying, groom a little bit, you know what I'm saying, when he get going. You know what I'm saying? I know Dak has more experience. But yeah, I got him under that, you know what I'm saying? Like about 9 wins. You know what I'm saying? It depends on Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, because the defense, like you said, the defense gonna play a little lights out, but they gotta score some points and they gotta be consistent. Can't you score 50 1 week and turn the ball 8 turnovers the next week? you know what I'm saying, score 10. So that's crazy.
Yeah. Now jumping to the Giants, 7.5 wins. Your team was the Commanders. I'm behind the Giants, and I'll also take a flyer on them at plus 900 to win the division. Um, they have one of the most underrated tight ends in the NFL. Darren Waller is, I mean, he's a beast. Dabble's also a really good coach, and I'm not like, it kind of sucks because I think Daniel Jones is a fine quarterback. He's not elite. He's fine, but I think what they've put around him, the defense added a ton. They have Wink, who was in Baltimore. I think they're going to be good enough to win the division. The division's good enough, and it just all depends if Daniel Jones can just manage games. Can he put the offense in good places to win the game? I think 7.5 is a too low number for them. Jones has shown good running ability through his career, so I think they'll have some stuff with that. Saquon's back. Like I said, they traded for Darren Waller, who supposedly has been the man that's been getting the ball so much during camp. I'm going to go over this total. I think they finished with maybe 10 to 11 wins.
Man, I got them going over. I got them going over that 7.5 because, you know, like you said, of the weapons that they have. But I feel like the Giants, you know what I'm saying, not going to do as much. I feel like that's going to be it's going to be between them and the Cowboys who going to finish last in that division. That's how I feel about the Giants. You know, and I'm just leaving it at that. Saquon should have held out with them other running backs, man. He turned in, man. He wrong for that.
Yeah.
But you know, everybody got to do their thing. Get your money, man.
Right. The last team in the division, Commanders over under 6.5 wins. I'm gonna go over, but just by 7 or 8. I'm not that high. Or it sounds like I'm not as high as you, but I was at the Commanders preseason game against the Ravens in FedEx Field, and the Commanders won the game, beat the Ravens, and their fans thought it was their Super Bowl. It was unserious. They were asking me how I felt and like talking crazy, and I'm like, bro, you guys just won your Super Bowl. Congratulations. Preseason game, like I could care less. But I think it was good to see the fans there, the fans supporting the team, and it felt like they were bought in this year. I think a lot of people throughout their career, throughout the Commanders' career, their past 20 years have been very disappointed with what they've had. And at that preseason game, I've never been in a preseason game so intense, so exciting, so like the fans were locked in. It was just awesome to see the Commanders fans bought in to a team that they've had there. So I'm going to go over 6.5 wins, but I think they just missed the playoff.
Yeah, over 6.5 wins, and you know, it's like a toss up who I think will win the division between them and the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna take the Commanders, man, winning the division this year. You know what I'm saying? With their I think that offense gonna be gelling this year with the running game, passing game. I think they're gonna be doing their thing. Defense getting better and better. You know, they broke the Ravens little streak. You know what I'm saying? Preseason streak.
I was there for that.
Oh, that's funny, man. But I'm leaving it at that Commanders for the NFC East, baby.
That's
crazy.
That's a big upset because
People were
+1,000.
tired of it. I'm telling you, that's a big one, man. Plus 1,000. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna be ready this year. Got the quarterback, got the offense gelling, man. I think they're gonna surprise a lot of folks in that division, win a lot of close games. Special teams off the chain. They special teams got the best special teams in the NFC East.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring this one back up because if they do go on to win the division, that's a
mark my word. We're gonna clip this out telling Commanders NFC East. They win it. Hey, I gotta holler at me, man. I'm telling you.
Jumping in the NFC North, Lions over under 9.5 wins. I'm gonna go over. I think this division is a toss up this year to me because I'll get into other teams later. But I mean, you look at the Lions, who seem to be over that rebuilding hump and are ready to compete. The Vikings, whose defense isn't very good, but they have the best player in the NFL, and Justin Jefferson behind Mahomes, and just were there last year. The Bears, who look like they're taking strides with Justin Fields, and the Packers, who Jordan Love has looked really good in the preseason. So very, very competitive division here. But the Lions over 9.5 wins. I'm going to go 10 or 11, and I'm going to go them to win the division at plus 140. I think the Lions are done with that rebuild. They're done losing. I think Dan Campbell finally gets done this year, and they win the division for the first time, I think, ever.
Yeah, man, I'm with that too, man. I'm with the Lions over. They win their division. I think they I think this the year that the Lions like get back on top and start busting them teams because in the NFC North, I know they're gonna get Green Bay. I know they're gonna get they and they probably get the Vikings because the Vikings defense ain't that good. So I know they're gonna get them for sure. And then the Bears probably toss them because the Bears pretty good. You know what I'm saying? With Justin Fields, he catching his stride. If they do the right thing around him too, they could be dangerous. They could be dangerous. They could be dangerous also because he's not a bad quarterback. He reminds me of C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud down in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Same type of quarter. Not the same body frame, but the same type of, you know what I'm saying, slickness with the running game and all that. So I got the Lions winning it, man, just because of their offense and, you know what I'm saying, they coaches and all that.
Next is Vikings over under 8.5 wins. I'm gonna go over, but I think it's by all their games are 40-35, 42-35. Like their defense just is not good enough.
Yeah.
Like I said, they had Justin Jefferson, who's insane. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go over, but
But
tight.
yeah, but man, you know, they lost their tight end though. The
Yeah,
Vikings.
yeah. It's
Man, I don't know why. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they let. I don't know why they let. Then they let them go in the division, didn't
no. They
it?
got no. They traded
They got.
for, but they
They
lost Irv
got.
Smith. They lost Irv
Yeah,
Smith.
that's what it was. They lost Irv Smith. They lost Irv Smith. Okay, okay. But they got TJ.
Yes, they added TJ. TJ came
That's
from the lines. Yes.
yeah. So that's the thing. That's the thing I want to touch on right now. After the line, that's what I'm about to touch on right there. And it just popped back in my head. The Lions lost. I mean, the Lions with. I hate that the Lions lost TJ because that was a big piece of their offense. But it's gonna be. Man, I know that's gonna be huge for Kirk Cousins, them, then Justin Jefferson, you know what I'm saying, then the running back that they have. So I said they might surprise us, you know what I'm saying. I still got the Lions winning it, you know what I'm saying? And I got them coming up, but I got them over, you know what I'm saying, winning about 10 games just because of that offense, just to see what that offense do. But like you said, man, they're gonna have to score about 50 points a game because they defense can't stop a nosebleed.
Yeah, for real. Bears over under 7.5 wins. I'm gonna go over. I think they finished with 8. I think they just missed the playoffs this year. But I'm pretty high on the Bears. I like Justin Fields. DJ Moore has been making plays left and right in preseason. So I'm gonna go over this, but just by half a game. I think they finished with 8 wins, just missed the playoffs, and next year's their year.
Yeah, man. I got them. I got them like by 8. By man, real talk. I say under, man. About 7 wins. About 7 wins. Just how the Bears stuff go, man. Then that weather get muggy. You know what I'm saying? They can't do nothing but pass. He got to do his thing. So you just really got to see how they start the season to see how they finish.
I'm the last team. Packers over under 7.5 wins. I'm really high on the Packers this year. I'm gonna go over 7.5 wins. I think they just missed the playoffs, but they finished with 8 to 9 wins. Jordan Love did what a lot of quarterbacks I think wish they could do. Sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, learned the offense,
Ooh.
learned the ways, and now is taking over and has looked really good since he's taken over. He's a developmental pick out of Utah State when they drafted him. When they took him, they were kind of they were expecting Rodgers to be done at some point. They didn't know when, but they were
Yeah.
expecting Rodgers to be done at some point. Rodgers finally decided to move on. He takes over now, and he's the QB1 there. I'm really high on him and the Packers. I'm going to go over.
Man, I got him. I got him a little bit. I got him a little bit over that win, but missing the playoffs, like you said. Excited to see what Love do. We'll see what he do with the offense. See what my guy do without Aaron Rodgers. See what the city do without Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? Just see the Packers. You know what I'm saying? Move on from that era, man, and you know what I'm saying? Start a new era. You know what I'm saying? For Jordan Love. So I hope he just step into that role, man, so he could have a big role, just like Aaron Rodgers stepped in for Brett Favre.
Now moving to the NFC South, Saints over. This is a bad division. Saints over under 9.5 wins.
Man.
And plus 105 to win the division. I, uh, I'm gonna go over. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go under.
I say over just for 10. I say over 10 wins.
Yeah,
But I don't know about that division. I don't know about them winning the division though.
yeah. I'm gonna go
Like 10
under.
wins.
I'm gonna go 8 to 9 wins, just barely under. I'm just not high enough on them. I don't know. I'm gonna go just under. I just don't think the Saints are. I think it's kind of time for a rebuild there. I think they need to fully restart. They've tried to do that the past few years, but still haven't landed a franchise quarterback. So I think they need to go all in on rebuilding.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
So now going to the next team, the Falcons, over 8.5 wins, and I think they win the division plus 200. Falcons are. I'm not a fan of Arthur Smith. I think he talks too much sometimes, but I am high on them this year with their playmakers. They have guys like Bijan, they have Kyle Pitts, but they need to use more. And then can Desmond Ritter take that step and lead his team to a division win? We'll see. I am high on them though this year. I'm going to go over.
Then I got to go over, man. Still don't have them to win the division, but I got them going over, winning a few games, man. Saying getting the road back in Atlanta, getting that field back, that dirty bird back. Shout out to the Falcons, man. I'm a Falcon now down here with this high school ball, but you know what I'm saying. Hopefully they you know what I'm saying, they win more than that, but I just got them around like 9 to 10 wins. You know what I'm saying, scraping the surface, just coming into their thing like you saying, because they've been. Actually, I feel like they've been rebuilding a lot too. So hopefully that coach do something. They might Arthur Blank might pull the plug.
Yeah. Now jumping into the Panthers, over under 7.5 wins. I'm gonna go under. I think Bryce Young takes some time, and I'm just not really high on rookie quarterbacks in their first year this season. I'm gonna go under. I think their offensive line's really bad. I'm just not high on them this year. Yeah, I'm gonna go under.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go a little bit. I'm gonna go over, but it's only about like 8 or 9 wins. I think it'll be a tough sled. You know what I'm saying? That first year for him. He's gonna be competing good with the teams that's in that division. But you know, I think when the thick of it get heavy, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna get crazy for, like you said, rookie quarterbacks, just to see how they do. Probably get into that year 2, year 3, like Trevor Lawrence getting it going. You know what I'm saying? He probably be all right. But he might surprise us. He might surprise us.
Last team, the Bucks, over under 6.5 wins. I'm gonna go under. I think the Bucks are not going to be good as Baker Mayfield. I think they're going to be rebuilding. They're going to be trying to get top pick because Caleb Williams will be number one, and that would be a good replacement for Baker. So I'm going to go under. I just don't think they'll be very good.
Yeah, man. I feel like this division, like you said, the division is bad. I feel like it'll be a close race. I think the team will get in probably under 500 because all of them will be around each other, and that's probably the team that's going to get in. The Bucks just with the experience of, you know what I'm saying, Baker Mayfield winning a few games, got a few weapons for him. You know what I'm saying, that he can probably just toss it up to do his thing. So I just got them winning the division, but it's not. They probably under 500 winning it.
Now for the last team or the last division, sorry, the NFC West 49ers over under 10.5 wins and minus 190 to win the division. I'm gonna go under. I think they finish with 10 wins and get into the wild card spot. Um, I can't trust Brock Purdy a full year. We were talking about game managers. He is one, but I don't think he is good enough to win the division this year from the start. I think teams have more film on him now and will know more of what to expect from him and how to kind of shut that offense down a little bit. They still got McCaffrey. They just signed Bosa, so offense and defense has some players, but I'm going to go just under this win total at 10 wins.
Man, I'm right there with you, man. Right at the 10 wins. I don't feel like they you know what I'm saying, winning the division at all, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like they're gonna be, you know what I'm saying, a decent team with Brock Purdy, you know what I'm saying? I ain't sold on it yet, you know what I'm saying? I gotta see this year, you know, see how he do after that surgery and all that. But they say he back doing his thing. They made him, you know what I'm saying, the starter, you know what I'm saying? And so we'll see. We'll see.
Now the Seahawks over under 10.5 win or 9.5 wins. I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna go them plus 230 to win the division. Geno
I'm with
shocked me
that too.
last year. I was calling for Drew Lock to start after the preseason, and Geno got the starting job and then took them to the playoffs, which is insane in a year that everybody expected to be a rebuild. And they took their pick and took Jackson Smith and Jigba with it. And they also had the Broncos pick because the Broncos traded for Russell Wilson, who did much worse than Geno Smith. So they fleeced the Broncos. They got a really good player in the corner from Illinois from them in
Yeah.
the draft. And then they have Jackson Smith and Jigba. That secondary is going to be really good. Guys like Tariq Woolen already there. I'm really high on them. Jamal Adams will return from injury. So I
Yeah.
think they win this division. They win 11 games and win the division.
Man, I'm with that too, man. I got to win about 11, 12 games. Geno, like you said, Geno playing his butt off. Their team, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they got a complete team now, locked in team, quarterback. I feel like they're gonna run away with that division easy.
Then Rams over under 6.5 wins. I'm gonna go over. I mean, Cup's injury is scary, but Matthew Stafford has been able to win in his time in Los Angeles. I think 6.5 is too low. I think they miss out on the playoffs, but they should still win 7 to 8 games.
Yep, I agree the same, man. About 7, 8, 9 games a year they probably win, but probably miss the playoffs. Probably a tough sled for them, especially if they miss Cup them first 4 games and we get put on IR because that hamstring is no joke. You need that thing to run on routes and everything. So I never had one as serious as theirs, but you can tell that hamstring has sit you down for a long time.
The last team, the Arizona Cardinals, over 3.5 wins. I'm gonna go under. I think they've already proven to everybody that their goal is to rebuild. They don't want Kyler anymore. I think they're gonna try to tank and get Caleb Williams if they can. I think this year there'll be a few teams really battling it out to see who can win less games, and there'll be one of them. So I think they go under 3.5 wins and finish with 2 or 3 at most, but I just don't see them winning many games.
Yeah, man. I don't know what the hell they doing out there in AZ. Kyler got that money and shot his. He got that money and he was done. Felt like it was all to set up, man. Let me get my money. I'm for the chill. Then in about 2 years, I'm gonna go into baseball. That's exactly what he about to do. He gonna retire from the NFL, like you said, because he ain't gonna want to go to another team. I don't think another team will want to deal with that.
Yep.
Like you said, they might tank. Like you might tank for my guy that's coming up from USC, man, Williams. You know what I'm saying, to get him. So, like you said, it's gonna be very interesting this season. Very interesting.
That is it for the divisions. Before we wrap this up, I do want to ask, get into the Ravens just a little bit real quick. As a former player, you've obviously been watching the Ravens forever since I've known you. We've always talked about the Ravens, huge fan. But what is your thoughts on the Ravens hiring Todd Monken and changing the offense from what Greg Roman was to what Todd Monken is now? What are your thoughts on that from a former player's perspective of what you saw with Roman and now moving on to Monken?
I feel like they trust. I feel like Lamar had to go through so many tests and trials to tell these folks that he could throw the ball. And finally they said, all right, let's get a passing mind in here for him. Let's get a guy here that know how to utilize his abilities as in with the tight ends and you know what I'm saying, getting the right pieces at receiver for him. Not just any type of receiver, but the right pieces for him. As in quick, fast guys in and out of route, guys that can you know what I'm saying, turn a quick out into you know what I'm saying, a go route. You know what I'm saying, like Zay and Odell, OBJ. So I just feel like it's great. They got a great mind in there with Tom Monkey. He hungry, coming from college, his first year calling the plays. I know he gonna be wanting to run a team. You know what I'm saying? I know he want to keep, you know what I'm saying, elevating his time. So I know he's gonna try to do his this the thing that I love about it. Even that man go, you know what I'm saying, pour out his soul into this offense. You know what I'm saying? So because he want Lamar to be successful, because he want to elevate his game too. Like, hey, I was a coach that came in and you know what I'm saying, took Lamar passing game from here all the way up to the ceiling. Because y'all think we finna run the ball, but he finna have like 350, you know what I'm saying, passing. But you have to respect the run also, because I got that in my tank too. As you can see at Georgia, Stetson Bennett, the little stuff that he did, like he used to Stetson Bennett used to aggravate me when he scored. But they had it set up. He had it set up so good that every time he scored, it was like he don't even get touched. You know what I'm saying? He flying in. Dude had the greatest, you know what I'm saying, 2 years at Georgia under that man. You know what I'm saying? And he's not even half of the talent, you know what I'm saying, Lamar is. You know what I'm saying? So man, I don't know. Like everybody want to question it. We don't even have to talk about, you know what I'm saying, the former OC right now, because what we going into is, you know what I'm saying, amazing. I'm just excited to see Monken, you know what I'm saying, on his level, him calling them plays and, you know what I'm saying, tight ends, man, likely coming along, man. Got Andrews, you know what I'm saying, OBJ, Zay, you know what I'm saying. The running game will be what the running game is because our quarterback, the defense, locked in, getting them pieces, you know what I'm saying, the pieces that we need, you know, and like I always say, that is something about that organization, man, something about, you know what I'm saying, the coach, man, the guy, he a leader, man. He know how to lead that team. You know how to, you know what I'm saying, put them in situations to win. You know what I'm saying, making tough situations in the game. I mean, in practice, so it could be easy in the game. So I salute him on that, man. You gotta have thick skin and have a tough mindset to, play for them Ravens, man. But you better be ready to win. You know what I'm saying? Guaranteed. Guaranteed. They win every year. You know what I'm saying? So man, my man stay healthy, man. We going. We gonna be in that thing. We gonna be shooting. Like I try to tell him, we gonna be shooting. Mark my words. We make it to the Super Bowl. The Affirmation Podcast will be shooting live from the Super Bowl site. the
Yeah,
whole week. The whole
yeah.
week.
No, yeah. I'm very high on the Ravens too, and I think the whole fan
How
base
you
is.
feel about it?
I think it's good to hear that from you, a former player, from what you've seen and stuff. But like, I just feel like I'm right with the rest of the fan base where. But I wouldn't say the rest of the fan base because I think the rest of the fan base knocks Greg Roman a little too much. I was one of Greg Roman's biggest haters the past 2 years. I'll be honest. I could not keep watching it. It pissed me off. However,
Yeah.
people discredit 2019. I think that was the best possible thing for Lamar that year. I think Lamar has evolved as a passer, and I think like I said earlier, outgrew Greg Roman's system. And I think Greg Roman just wouldn't change, which is why he's not here anymore. But I think people discredit his system to a point. Obviously, he was horrendous the past 2 years. Wouldn't make any changes. Was time for him to go. I think it was time for him to go after last season. But the Ravens are, you know how Harbaugh is to his guys. Harbaugh keeps his guys around as long as he can. They decided to keep him around. It was kind of frustrating, but they finally moved on this year. And Todd Monken, like you said, like all the videos Ravens Twitter is posting, all the videos that's on Ravens Instagram, like Monken just looks so engaged. Lamar is raving about the quarterback room, about the meetings and how Monken is at the meetings. I think hiring T. Martin or boosting T. Martin to the quarterback's coach was also really good for them. Former quarterback, like won a national championship. I think that is the Ravens coaching staff is taking a step in a big way that is much needed in a year where they have a roster to win the Super Bowl. The offense is I have not been this excited for an offense in I don't know how long. Even the year that 2019, I was high on the offense, but it's like, could Hollywood Brown, what can Hollywood Brown be for us? You know, what we didn't have the receiving core we have now. We have Odell Beckham. Obviously, Odell is not 2016 Odell or 2017 Odell, but Odell is still
Odell.
Right. He's better than what we've had.
Like in the 4 year, he got a 4 year like off that knee rehab. Like it's like he set out a year. He got a break. You know what I'm saying? Like so he finna go like I just feel like he finna cut up. Like I think he's finna get first game like going like catching that slant that he caught against us when he was with the Giants and went to the crib like about 75. Like that's the type of Odell we finna get, and that's the type of offense like we gonna have a quick game, and you know what I'm saying. The quick game gonna be crazy with the running game, RPO man. It's gonna be crazy. So people have to, you know what I'm saying. They got to tap in. They got to tap in with us. They'll be on the bandwagon throughout the season.
Oh yeah, 100%. And also before we wrap it up, the biggest I think in a few years we look back, one of the biggest deals in the NFL draft, Zay Flowers. Where he went. I think Zay is like baby Antonio Brown. People compared him to Hollywood. People compared him to Hollywood out of when we drafted him, and it just didn't. They don't fit the same. Hollywood is more run out of bounds. Zay is more run after catch. Zay catches the ball and he will go. He's faster, I think, and he just fits this offense so well. Because people forget we still have Bateman. Bateman is I think wide receiver one. Lamar's been open about that. But Bateman was playing with not as good of guys. When you put Odell and Zay Flowers on the field, they're not double teaming Bateman. They're not double teaming Andrews.
Bateman.
You can't double team anyone. Like you just cannot double team anyone. And honestly, between those four, Andrews, Bateman, OBJ, and Zay Flowers, I think Zay Flowers would have to be the guy you double team with his explosiveness, with his ability to go. Like out of those four guys, I think you have to double team the rookie. Which
they ain't bringing in likely.
Right. He's the
sure catcher, you know what I'm saying, tight end, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna like I say the offense gonna be like you said, gonna be ridiculous. Spread them out, see what they can do. Spread them out, see what they can do with a dual threat quarterback. And his legs are very, very dangerous.
And they won some games.
Oh my God. It's gonna get wild, man. It's gonna get wild up there at Owens Mills, man. One winning drive.
Yep, fully agree. But that is it. We're back now, planning to do this every week. try to get some guests on over the next few weeks. But right now we're just talking football. Very glad to be back. And yeah, really appreciate you coming on today, LeBron. It was a really good show.
Man, great show, man. Like you said, man, being great to be back with you, bro. Talking this NFL ball with you. Like you said, we took a break, man. God bless that. You know what I'm saying, for mental things. But we back live, man. Affirmation podcast every week, giving you this heat. Hey, man, subscribe, man. Hit that like button. Do whatever you got to do, man. Like you said, we'll have some guests on. You know what I'm saying? Some trivia things going on. We'll have a lot more for y'all this season, man. But appreciate y'all tuning in to our first show this season. Ben, I appreciate you always, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Always. Yes, sir. I form, baby.